Nebraska just took another huge step to landing star running back transfer Marty Brown in the portal. So in today's video, I'm going to give you this exclusive update, what's going on behind the scenes in his recruitment. Spoiler alert, he's going to be visiting Nebraska very soon, along with a couple other schools. I'm going to let you know who those are and inevitably why I'm so confident that he's going to commit to the Huskers and what this means for Nebraska's running back room, what this means for Quinn Knives and so much more. And then I'm going to give you an update on a couple other Nebraska transfer portal prospects, a potential wide receiver addition, what's going on with the defensive line, and a couple players who I expect to leave very, very soon. So really quick, this is a jam-packed video. Hit that like button if you're fired up. I know I am. And really quick, if you support what I'm doing here, daily Husker football content, transfer portal updates that you can't get anywhere else, it takes 2 seconds. It really helps me out. Please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get into it, talking about Nebraska in the transfer portal. And let's just get things started with potentially Nebraska's next running back. This is Charmar Marty Brown out of North Dakota State. We've already talked about him extensively over the past couple of days. Again, 5'11", 215 pounds, was the starting running back for the Bison when they won the national championship last year, ran for 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns. This guy is an absolute workhorse, every down type of back. He's super fast, he's super quick, but has the ability to lower the shoulder. And Nebraska has been going to work in this transfer portal process. He announced last night that he will be visiting Nebraska this Thursday. He will be in town meeting with the coaching staff, meeting with some of the players. Of course, they're probably going to be discussing his role, his playing time, and also some NIL cash. So he will be in town this Thursday, but it also should be noted that today, this Monday, he is currently in Miami talking with the Hurricanes. So again, right now it looks like it's a two-horse race. We have Nebraska and Miami. Northwestern is also trying to get him on a visit behind the scenes. Indiana's, of course, a little bit still in this process, but it looks like Nebraska and Miami are these two schools. Now, Nebraska beat out Miami already once in the transfer portal process when they got Andrew Marshall. Let's see if they can do it again here with Marty Brown. I'll say this. If he wants to go to a place and play right away, he's going to come to Nebraska because Miami's running back room is a lot better than the Huskers. And their running back room isn't that good, to be honest with you, right? There's a lot of open competition just like what we have here, but again, there's a lot more talent there than what we have. So if Marty Brown wants to come and be potentially the running back 1, running back 2, he's going to come to Nebraska. So I like where we stand. Again, I already told you guys, 2 days ago that I'm going to put in my crystal ball. I've already put in my crystal ball, 99% confidence. He's going to be a Nebraska Cornhusker. The NIL money's good. It's good. It's good enough. I'll just say that. And we're going to land Marty Brown, I believe, this upcoming weekend once he takes these 2 visits. So really feel good. He's going to come home. Again, we'll keep you guys posted, but I've already put in my crystal ball. Feel really, really good about this recruiting process. But again, Miami, they're a player here. They are a player. I'm not discrediting them. I'm a little bit worried about them, but I just feel good about where Nebraska stands. So before we get into some of these other prospects, let's talk about this running back room, because what does this mean for Quinn Knives? I know a lot of people, they were nervous about taking a running back transfer because they didn't want Quinn Knives to transfer. Okay? And my main thing to those people is this. Quinn Knives is not going to transfer, because if he were to transfer, he's not going to go anywhere good. He's not going to go to a Power 4 school. I would be shocked if he goes to, a Group of 5 school worth anything. So Quinn Knives are smart. He's going to stick around, and I think he will. Okay, the coaching staff said time and time again that Quinn Knives is going to fight. He's going to fight to get reps. He's not scared of competition. He's from New Jersey. We know he's tough. There's no reason why he's going to transfer now. So I believe that there's not going to be a single transfer in this running back room. And at the exact same time, I know a lot of people are like, well, Quinn Knives is running back 2. He deserves this. We shouldn't screw him over and bring in another player to, compete over him. Okay, Charmar Brown is not being guaranteed the running back 2 spot. He's just not. Okay, it's going to be an open competition in the fall. Quinn Knives is going to have a real opportunity to be running back 2. And if Quinn Knives wins that job, perfect. I'm not discrediting him. I'm rooting for him. The only thing that I've been calling for months now has been open competition, because right now we just handed Quinn Knives the running back 2 spot because there's not a real competition going on. But Kai Nelson's not ready. Jamarian Parker, as athletic as he is, he's probably not ready. We know Connor Booth isn't ready. So Quinn Knives, going into his 3rd year, it was a no-brainer that he was running back 2. He didn't have any real competition. That changes adding Marty Brown to this room. And if Quinn Knives going into the fall is still running back 2, then all credit to him. I just want a real competition. That's what the coaching staff thinks too. The coaching staff thinks the exact same thing I think. We need more competition there. That's why we're bringing in Marty Brown, and that's the outlook on Quinn Knives. I expect no running backs to leave in the portal. All right, let's talk about some other players here Nebraska has been pursuing or been rumored to land, and then we'll talk about some guys who I expect to leave because I know I've been getting a lot of questions about that winter. We're going to see a lot of transfers. So the first guy I want to talk about here is Terrell Davis. There was a lot of smoke around him this weekend. I was kind of wanting to make a video, but I was going to save it for today. This guy with 1 year of eligibility remaining, coming out of D2 Central Oklahoma, 6 foot tall, incredibly fast, 180. I just want to show you his stats from last year. Okay, look at down here for 2024. He had 1,200 yards receiving that led D2 football, that led all divisions of football. D1, D2, D3, doesn't matter. That led everything. So he was the best wide receiver in D2 football. He had 15 touchdowns. This dude had over 100 receptions. This dude was a dog. Okay, and he's picked up a lot of good offers in this transfer portal process. Nebraska has been rumored to be in the mix here, along with Oklahoma State and a couple other Group of 5 schools. Now, it looks like the smoke has died down a little bit. I do not believe he'll be visiting Nebraska purely because he wants to go somewhere and start. So he visited Boise State recently. He's probably going to start at Boise State. He's not going to start here. And he wants to go somewhere and start with his final years of eligibility. So I don't think Nebraska is going to land him. But the reason why I bring him up is I would not be shocked if DeKel Shorts adds another wide receiver. And this is what I told you 2 weeks ago when Harley Gilmore got kicked off the team. I told you I would not be shocked if DeKel Shorts adds another wide receiver because he's all about competition. And he brought in 3 receiver transfers when he got here, and he already lost one of them. So he's trying to regain that player by adding another guy. So again, I don't think we're going to land Terrell Davis. He wants to go start somewhere. But keep your eyes peeled for a potential JUCO receiver, for a potential, again, another guy who maybe might enter the transfer portal in the next couple of days. Would not be shocked if the Huskers add another wide receiver because, again, DeKel Shorts, he's all about adding competition. We already lost one of his transfers. He probably wants to bring in another guy. And it should be mentioned, he wanted to bring in 4 transfers originally. We were going to land Jonah Wilson before we went over to Texas A&M last second. He was pretty much committed to Nebraska behind the scenes. So we're going to have 4 transfer wide receivers originally. We're down to only 2. Would not be shocked if we land another one. We're not going to land Terrell Davis. I don't think so. But would not be shocked if we land one. We'll see maybe this summer, maybe a JUCO guy. So wanted to keep you guys posted on that. David Stone, it was announced yesterday that he will be returning to Oklahoma. I honestly think we dodged a bullet here. I know I talked about him in my video 2 days ago. Super talented guy, former 5-star, best friends with Williams Nwaneri, has some connections with some members of the coaching staff. Nebraska, it is confirmed they were interested here. They did contact him. I will say this about David Stone, though. It seemed like a Nico 2.0 situation where he had a greedy family. They wanted more money from Oklahoma. Oklahoma was not willing to pay more money, and they entered the portal. And it kind of feels like they understood that they made a mistake. They said, okay, Oklahoma are bad. We're going to go back to you. So Nebraska, I feel like they dodged a bullet. This guy who, I don't think he's greedy himself, but his family's greedy. And they wanted a lot of money, so it's probably better that we just did not land him. So it is confirmed that Nebraska's been going after a couple defensive linemen. Kobe Stewart's a guy who I have my eyes out for. Again, he had 10 sacks last year. He's an edge rusher. He's more of a jack type of guy, but again, you could put him on a couple personnel sets at defensive end. You could put him in a nickel set. You could put him in a dime set for Nebraska. So it's confirmed Nebraska did reach out here. To what extent, I don't know. Again, I would not be shocked if they added a defensive line. I'm still keeping my eyes peeled for guys that potentially offer for a couple visits. I would not be shocked if we have a couple guys transfers visit this weekend for the Husker games alongside Marty Brown. So keep my eyes peeled for a defensive lineman. If there's one I want, it's this guy because, again, he's adds versatility and he's a guy who can get to the quarterback. So would watch out for that. All right, I want to just end things off talking about some players who might leave. I've got a lot of questions about this. We just haven't seen anybody enter the portal. We have to cut about 25 guys, and the portal, it's closed on Friday. So it's pretty much do or die. These guys have to leave right now. The first thing I'll tell you is patience. There's going to be a lot of guys who enter the portal today, tomorrow, basically on Friday. There's going to be a lot of guys who enter, okay? But I'll tell you this. We have to cut about 25 guys. Let's put it like maybe 60% of those guys are going to be walk-ons. Most of the walk-ons, I know this for a fact, most of the walk-ons are not going to transfer who get cut. They're going to either quit football forever and just stay with the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, or they're going to basically be practice players where they're not on the 105, but they're waiting. If somebody gets injured and is not in that 105, they're going to get promoted, basically. Matt Rhule's talked about that before. Basically, they're not with the team. They're kind of like a practice squad players, but if a player gets injured and isn't in that 105 anymore for the year, then they're going to get promoted. So a lot of these walk-ons aren't actually going to transfer. Now, there are going to be a couple scholarship players who transfer. My understanding is that they haven't told a lot of these players that they've made the 105 yet. So that's why we haven't seen a lot of guys who got cut yet. So I think they're going to come to an understanding probably this Wednesday. They have a big scrimmage either Wednesday or Thursday. So we're going to see a lot of players enter the portal very, very quickly here. So patience. It's going to happen. And if there's guys who I'm looking out for, again, DBs, a lot of DBs. And we've already kind of said that, some of these second-year, third-year players that were recruited by Evan Cooper, Rex Guthrie, Kamir Prescott, Balin Prude, President Okafor. You got Rowdy Bauer in there. You got DeAndre Barnes, Bryce Turner. All those guys, I'm just kind of like, where's your role in this team? Those guys I have my eyes out for. And then a couple of defensive linemen, offensive linemen there as well. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below about Nebraska and the transfer portal. Who do you want the Huskers to go after? Do you want Nebraska to be more aggressive? Let me know your thoughts. Hey, if you made this far in the video, hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go be great. Go, Matt Rhule. See you in the next one.